Seth Winterhalter here with the Spartan Body and Mind Podcast. All right, question of the day. What do I think of intermittent fasting? First off, it is a tool, right? If you are a carpenter, if you are a skilled laborer, you have a variety of tools. And intermittent fasting is a tool. But to use that tool, we have to kind of understand what we mean by intermittent fasting. Okay, that is the term that has been used for kind of a day. It's not even a day fast. It's really a window of eating through the day. It's controlled time for your eating window. As someone who has done a variety of different fasts for different purposes throughout life, I think that intermittent fasting first has to be understood as this is something you do during a day. So the one that I would recommend if you're going to use it is the 16-8 split. What that means is 16 hours of the day you are fasting. 8 hours of the day is your window for eating. Now that doesn't mean you're eating throughout. It means you're going to have really a couple meals. Here's where the reality is with most intermittent fasting, it is basically skipping breakfast. Okay, can we just be honest? It's skipping breakfast. So if I would say this, fasting, if you're really going to use fasting to do a detox of the body and of the mind, which it does both, I would recommend a 3 to 5 day fast. You're really not getting fasting benefits in a 16-hour window. Maybe there are some. The research just is not good on this. People saying, I use calling it intermittent fasting. It's a little bit bothersome when you look at real fasting. Again, 3 day, 5 day, when you are allowing the body to really flesh itself. You're not fleshing anything in 16 hours. You're basically limiting the window of time to stuff your face with food. And so the day, what we know, or what is popularly called intermittent fasting, which is basically just the window of time that you eat in a given day, I would say works as a tool for people who are 25 pounds or above overweight. If you are, that's what I call it. There's a significant weight, right? If you're 5-10 pounds, you can dial that in. Once you get over 20-25 pounds of overweight, it's going to take you weeks to burn that off in a healthy way. Again, you can lose weight faster, but you're losing water weight. You're not burning fat off. If you're 25 pounds of fat overweight, you have to be intentional and strategic about burning that off over weeks so that you actually burn the fat and you do it in a way that's sustainable. So if you just try to kill yourself, cut your calories significantly, you're going to burn through muscle, not fat. You are going to lose weight, but it's not going to look good. And when you get to the bottom of that and then you start eating again, because you've probably jacked up your metabolism in an unhealthy way, you are going to rebound and gain all that weight back. Now, I will go into I said a lot of things there that I'll go into in further videos and in podcasts. But for intermittent fasting, it is a tool. And I think the tool is I need to be mindful if I'm an overeater, if I eat throughout the day, if I'm grazing a lot, snacking a lot, this can be a tool. If I'm eating, maybe I don't snack a lot, but man, my meals, breakfast, lunch, and dinner, I eat 3 times a day, and they're just huge meals. Maybe this can be a tool, right? So and I'll be honest, I used it when I was 100 pounds overweight. I heard about it, and it just seemed easy to me. I wasn't a huge breakfast eater anyway, and so it just was like I eat twice a day. I eat lunch, and I eat a dinner. And so that makes it just seemed easy. It was easier for me to I wasn't really tracking calories using like an app like MyFitnessPal or Lose It or whatever's out there now. I was simply kind of gauging like what was I going to eat for lunch, what was I going to eat for dinner. And so I think intermittent fasting played a key for me. I used it for the first 6 months, but I was extremely overweight and I needed to just dial things in. I needed to simplify my meal structures. And would I do it differently now? Probably. But I think that it is a tool to help people who really need to get control over their dieting. So again, what is it? The one I would recommend is the 8-hour window. Basically, you eat between 12 p.m. and 8 p.m. You can do 12 to 8. Maybe you do a 6-hour window, 12 to 6. Basically, you have lunch and you have dinner. You have 2 meals. Maybe you put 3 meals in there if you want. If they're going to be, again, smaller, more dialed-in meals, you can do that. You still have to be mindful of the calorie intake, right? If you cut your calories too low by doing intermittent fasting, sure, you'll lose weight, but you won't lose good weight. You're going to eat into muscle. You're going to your fat's going to hold on to your body because, again, the body stores fat because it thinks it's going to starve. You have to remember, we are a product of evolution, meaning like we were cavemen at one time, and cavemen didn't just get to go down to McDonald's at any hour of the day and pick up 2 McChickens. They had to hunt, they had to fight, they had to kill predatory species to survive. And so to do that, you didn't know when your body was going to get food. And so your body would hold on to as much resources as possible. And that's why it stores fat. It wants to store fat so that it can live, it can sustain itself during those lean times. It'll be interesting, right? 500 years from now, if society continues in the way it is, to see how our bodies change. Maybe we will evolve to not hold on to as much fat, but really just maybe our digestive system, something will change within us as food just becomes so plentiful to us, where our bodies change and it just sheds fat. It has no reason to store it anymore. Who knows? Who knows what's going to happen? That's what's so interesting, is the body is so much more powerful than just science. Science is understanding it, but and that's why fat pills and these things, they don't work. They're just junk. The body just knows. You can't fight. You can try to trick the body, but the body's going to do what the body does, and that is survive. So, 8-hour window, 12 p.m. to 8 p.m. is when you eat, then you fast for 16 hours. Now, let's be honest. Here's where, again, the intermittent fasting bothers me. These people who are like, oh, but I wake up and I have coffee, I have coffee for breakfast with my creamer, and so, but I'm fasting. No, you're not. You're not really fasting. In fact, even if you have plain black coffee, you have broken your fast. You have put something into your body that is not just water. Is the only thing that does not break a fast. Anything else triggers the digestive system. It triggers because you're putting nutrients into your body, and your body has to absorb that. It has to do something with that. So even if it's 5 calories of black coffee, you still have impacted your fast. Again, is that so? Would I tell my clients you can only have water? No, because I probably wouldn't use intermittent fasting. Maybe I would if you're extremely overweight, and again, it's a tool, but I wouldn't. Again, that's why I think maybe we don't call it fasting. Maybe we just say, hey, we're going to try not to eat proteins, carbs. We're not going to try to have an actual nutritious meal before noon. We're going to withhold. We're going to just drink water. We're going to put some electrolytes in our body, because that's the other thing. Like, I know professional bodybuilders who say, oh yeah, well, I wake up and I go do fasted cardio. But they're drinking their electrolytes, they're drinking their intra-workouts, they're drinking their EAAs while they do cardio. Well, and they say this, like, well, I'm not really fasting because I'm putting stuff into my body that my body has to process. So I've kicked myself out of a fasting state. So, but we use the term, though. We use the term fasting, so it's frustrating because it confuses people. Fasting is when you only have water. And why you're doing that? You're flushing the body. You're flushing it of toxins. You're resetting the digestive tract. You're doing a lot of good. But again, that takes a minimum of 3 days. A 3-day fast is really the shortest fast to have the real benefits of what fasting does for the body. And I would encourage you, a 3-day fast is a really good thing to do, probably once a quarter, if not at least once a year. So what else do I want to say about fasting? Again, it's a tool. If you're 25 pounds, overweight or more, it could be a tool that would be a good one for you to use. What we want to do is think about, instead of intermittent fasting, we want to think about the timing window of when we eat. And so we're trying to put our calories into a spot where hopefully we start to reset fullness, where lunch, and the way you even break the fast, I would encourage you to break that with proteins and some really healthy fats, really no carbs in that first meal. When I was doing it, and I didn't do this on purpose, I did it on accident. I had 4 hamburger patties. Right, I went to Burger King. I had 4 hamburger patties, and so I'm getting protein. I'm getting the fat in that burger, and once in a while I'd maybe throw a slice of cheese on that. And so I just did it naturally, or not naturally. I just did it accidentally. But you don't want to put a lot of carbs in that first meal. You want to push the body with protein, maybe some healthy fats, get the brain going. That's where I wouldn't use cheese necessarily. Would have been better to put some guacamole. Would have been better to have eggs in that first meal. Something that's going to give me some healthy fats and get my brain. Your brain needs healthy fats. A lot of people don't understand. The body, your body doesn't need fat, right? Unless you're trying to store for hibernation. But your mind does. Your mind, think about again, I'm not a car guy, but so I'll make myself look stupid. Think about oil in a car engine, and how that lubricates everything. Your brain uses fat to lubricate itself, to keep it healthy and functioning. You don't want to dry out your brain, so you keep it healthy with healthy fats. Salmon, specific kinds of fish with those healthy fats. Eggs, great source of fat. Guacamole, good source of fat. The avocado. Okay, so remember, here's, I'll leave you with this key when it comes to intermittent fasting. You can't just throw a bunch of food in an 8-hour window and go, I'm intermittent fasting, I'm awesome. You still have to track how many calories. You still need to, it's always a calorie game. It's always a numbers game. A diet is always about what you put into your body and what's going out of your body in energy expenditure. And so you need to know how many calories do I need to just sustain? What do I mean by sustain? I mean, how many calories can you eat in a given week, and then divide that into days to not gain weight or lose weight. That is your sustainable number. So I know for me, my sustainable number is between 2,800 and 3,000 for my given activity level. Now, you could, I won't get into it. You can push that. You do things to make that go lower, push that. You can do things to make that go higher. But you probably have a number that keeps you pretty sustainable, keeps you not gaining, not losing. If you want to lose weight, you take that number and you subtract 200 calories, and you stay at that for a few weeks until you stop losing weight. Then you lower it a little bit more, and you lower it a little bit more. This is just simple math of dieting. If you want to bulk, if you want to gain weight, you want to gain strength, you go do your sustainable, go to that sustainable number, 2,800 calories, and you're going to push 200 calories. You're going to fill yourself with a little more food, not a lot more food, a little more food. And you're going to see, you're going to feel the expense of that, and then as you continue to grow, you might push that a little bit more and a little bit more. Again, just baby steps. But what we need to know, if you're going to use intermittent fasting, you just can't go, well, I'm eating my window, I can eat whatever I want. That's crazy. You still have to be aware of what you're eating to make sure that you are, if you're trying to lose weight, you're probably using intermittent fasting to lose weight. So make sure that you are in a calorie deficit, that you are a couple hundred calories underneath the target for sustainability, and eat that inside that window. And so, anyway, intermittent fasting, it's a tool. I probably wouldn't recommend it to a lot of people unless your coach is telling you to use it, because I just think it has a tendency to be abused and misunderstood, and therefore then not used correctly. So, if you're going to use it, be wise about it. Until next time.